You know when a movie starts so confidently that you're just totally comfortable with wherever it's gonna go? There's just nothing quite like whenever a movie starts and you feel like you're just in a safe pair of hands. That's how the beginning of Longlegs felt for me. And having a great start is important for any movie, but I think it's especially true for a movie like this one where there are parts of it that could really turn an audience off. It's quite slow at times, it's ambiguous at the start, but because it's built such goodwill at the start, you trust it that it's gonna all pay off at the end. How well it actually ends up paying that off, I'll get to. So Longlegs is about an FBI agent who has these supernatural instincts about things, and she gets assigned to the Longlegs case. A serial killer who has murdered entire families, but there's never actually any evidence of them being in the house. So our main character Lee is trying to solve the case with her new boss while also navigating this rocky relationship she has with her mum. Just starting a movie with an FBI agent who basically has shining powers, that's all I need to know. I'm 100% on board with that. That's just a really cool combination on its own, and what I like about it is that it both makes her better at her job, she can see things and sense things that other people can't, but then it also creates a whole bunch of personal problems for her because she has this deep anxiety about things going wrong and trying to prevent it and not always being able to. And that becomes especially apparent whenever you're trying to stop a serial killer. The not very mentally well cop is already a bit of a trope of the genre, and Lee has relationship problems with her mum, but the supernatural element just gives it a whole different edge that I really loved. And then just the mystery itself is really cool. Who the hell is Longlegs? Why is he killing these people? And how has no one caught him yet? That opening and the mystery really carried me through a lot of this film, but the problem with the mystery is that the reveal has to be as interesting as the mystery itself. And so if you feel like it didn't really pay off, which for me it didn't, that affects how you see the entire first half of the film. And so even though I was really enjoying the experience all the way up to that point, looking back at it, it's hard to not feel a little bit frustrated. I'm going to talk spoilers so I can really explain what I mean, so if you don't want anything spoiled, skip to this time code. So there's two main plot lines. There's the A plot line where Lee is trying to hunt down Longlegs, and then there's the B plot line where Lee has her strained relationship with her mother. And eventually these two plot lines merge when it's revealed that Lee's mother was actually helping Longlegs the entire time. So Longlegs turns out to be a Satanist doll maker, and Lee's mum, in order to protect Lee, helps Longlegs by dressing up as a nun and taking the dolls to families' houses on their children's birthday and presenting it to them as a birthday gift. So then the doll was imbued with some sort of devil stuff that would make the families go crazy and all kill each other. There's part of this that's smart. It keeps the script tight by merging the two storylines together. It means there's not a lot of wasted space in the script, and it works in delivering a surprise for people. The big problem for me is that it makes everything feel really convenient. Giving your main character a personal connection to the villain can deepen the story and make that twist feel even more impactful, but only when it feels natural. I mean, what are the chances that Lee meets Longlegs as a child, grows up to be an FBI agent, and then gets assigned to the Longlegs case? But then more than that her mum was actually part of it the whole time? And there's this other element where Longlegs is killing people on their birthdays on specific dates. And there's a whole thing where the FBI boss's daughter has a birthday on the date where Longlegs is killing people. You'd think he'd make that connection with his own daughter's birthday, or that Lee would notice it with her supernatural instinct for things, but nobody notices. And you become really conscious very early on that that's where this is going to lead to. And look, I think movies get overly criticized for being predictable. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with something being predictable as long as the emotion of it really pays off. But this is something that the characters in the film should have noticed and been conscious of. I mean, how does the FBI guy not realize his daughter's birthday lines up with this? It feels like the movie is having to make the characters act dumber than they actually are just so that things can work the way the script has them planned out to. And I think it's a bit of a problem whenever your movie is based around FBI investigators and your audience is pretty clearly aware of something that they should also be aware of too. So when everything does come to a close, it's not satisfying because it all feels very plot-driven. Everything feels like it's been set up in a specific way to get the plot to move forward to the next point. And that's true to an extent of all writing, but the great movies make it feel natural and character-driven. For Longlegs, it feels like things are being forced to work that way to make the plot make sense. And so it left me with one of the most weirdly frustrating movie experiences I've had in a while, because clearly the director, Osgood Perkins, very talented. The cast is great, it looks beautiful. I haven't even talked about Nicolas Cage in this, who's just having a great time. He is just kind of doing his crazy Nicolas Cage thing, but I enjoy it. And even with my reservations, this was a great film to see with an audience. There's some pretty horrifying things, and like hearing the reaction in the crowd was pretty great. But yeah, that ending, it just really didn't work for me. If you've seen Longlegs, please let me know what you thought in the comments, and if you want to make sure that you don't miss anything coming up on the channel, make sure to subscribe.